Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at our African nightcrawler bin that is being run with hamster bedding. Now, I don't have any extra hamster bedding to add, so we are going to add some food this time, and I have some wonderful looking food right here, which is for my juicer today, and it needs to go into a bin right away, so perfect timing on this to try to get rid of it by adding it to this system here, which probably is in need of food. And I've also, with this, I know that it's been running a little bit warm as the temperatures here have just gone all around from up to almost 90 down to 30 at night. So we've had some really weird temperatures, and my basement fluctuates very quickly, and the heater has been turning on and running for long periods and then turning off and not running at all. So we're going to add some water, but I've turned off the heater that I'm using. So I'm not running the heater anymore on the system. We're just going to let it go, and just hopefully it'll stay in the 70-degree range here in my basement like it normally does during the summer. And with that, let's take a look at this system, see how the worms are doing. I'm sure they need some food. We might want to add some bedding material too to sort of mix in there and get some fresh bedding in there. And hopefully in the next update, I'll be able to add some more hamster bedding to it. So let's take a look at the system and see what we got to work with. All right, so here's our system. We see our date of 4/11 over here. Today is May 4th, or what is that, 23 days, I think. So it's been a little bit longer than I expected before this update. I was hoping to get here after about 2 weeks. But let's go ahead and pull this up. And as you can see right now, it looks a little dried out. We've got some worms on the surface. A lot of worms up here in this wrap as well. They're looking for some moisture. It looks very, very dry in here, which we will give them towards the end of this. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to work on, we need to make sure this isn't going to fall off where we're putting it, is we're going to go ahead and dig through this system and just take a look before we add maybe some paper, some water, and also some food. So the worms are moving around a little bit. They've got a couple worms on top here. They're not looking very healthy though, and it's not surprising. I think this has been overly hot. It feels warm. Actually, let me just see. I've got my temperature gun right here. Just flipped it over. That says 72 degrees. So it's cooled off a little bit, but it's almost 73 in the bottom there. And for those of you that like Celsius, it is about 22 degrees Celsius. So it's not that bad, but I can tell it's just I keep turning down the temperature that it goes to, but it just continues to try to ramp up. But we can see though, lots of worms in here. It's a little bit smaller in size than, for the juveniles comparatively to the adults. But they're all through here. They're looking for moisture. And it's time to get this system, trying to get it up and working. And this looks very well composted though. I'm very impressed. Most of the wood shavings look like they're even gone in here. And these worms are really working through this. And these wood shavings are Aspen shavings, but it looks like there's very few in here. I mean, if you're seeing a lot, let me know. But it looks like that most of the shavings are even gone, which has not been the case, I think, with my my reds. So I'm just sort of turning all this over here, getting a look. Plenty of worms in here, though. These are, again, the African night crawlers. So I'm impressed with how they've worked through this system and all the... Actually, they seem to be in here towards the bottom in the middle, which is where the most heat would be. But they're doing a great job on this system, although it is definitely drying out. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to freshen this up a little bit. Ooh, wait, here we go. We've got some coffee grounds over here, it looks like, that they didn't work on, really. Or it looked like it for a second there. It looked like there were some coffee grounds. I know I've added some different things into here, as I have not had enough hamster bedding to keep up with all my systems. Been falling behind on sort of everything going on in my house lately with the... so yeah, you can see how dry this has been with the vacations and things like that we've been trying to do. So just... and scouts, which I'm involved in as well. So... I thought I saw a fruit fly or something fly out of here. She was the first one I've seen fly out of here, but doesn't mean that they're on there. So overall, this looks pretty good. The worms are definitely doing okay. But we're going to go ahead and move this to the side here. We're going to add some water with our BTI mix in it. As you can tell, I'm being pretty rough with the worms, but they are moving around and they are doing a pretty good job. As you can see right over here on this side and right over here, when I move them around, they are moving. Now, this food is not cold. So as you can see here from the food that I'm adding, this is not cold food. This is room temperature food, so I don't have to worry about, damaging the worms with it or anything like that. But we are going to throw in, just so there is some extra bedding in here for them to eat. They do tend to like their bedding. We're going to go ahead and throw in some cardboard. And yes, this is dry cardboard. It's not wet yet. But what we can do here is we're going to add a little bit of moisture to that cardboard to start. Not too worried about moisture in this system. It does seems to be a little bit on the dry side, so I'm going to put a little bit of moisture in there to start. And I think this time we are going to add some crushed crab and eggshell here that I've got in a container. See right here, I've got my crushed crab and eggshell. I think right now, I think the crab shell I have to crush up some more. I think this is all eggshell now. There we go. And that's going to add that grit for them. Because I'm not seeing, normally the way I judge with grit, by the way, if I see like white speckles all through here, I think the grit's pretty good. If I don't, then I try to add grit. We're going to dump this in. This is a mixture of carrot, of course with the orange, celery, and then we've got some spinach. And that is all that I put in my drink this morning. So this is a nice mixture of pulp, ready to eat essentially for the worms. We're going to put a little bit more cardboard on top there. No reason to do that, just to give them some bedding. It's not like I had to do it. And then I'm going to add in a little bit more water because the food that I'm adding has actually been crushed. All the liquids have been strained out of it. So it's actually pretty dry. A little bit more than that. And again, this is the water with the BTI mix that I keep in my bucket. And this is going to move around in there, no problem. And this is going to be a quick update here, because what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and cover this up. And as I said, I just turned off the heater right before this came on, so they're not going to have the heater on my African night crawlers anymore like I did in the past. We're going to go ahead and leave that off, let the worms settle down a little bit, hopefully do a little bit better of a job as they can settle in a little bit more. But overall, this is looking really good. I'm really shocked though that they're able to move through this, like right here. Let me show you this. These right here, that is a wood chip, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of them in here. I expected this to have a lot more wood chips in there. Instead, it looks very, very composted, and which is a good sign. So with that, let me just add. Actually, should I add a little bit more water? Maybe we'll just add a little bit more. I'm not too worried about it turning too muddy, but that's just going to dry up, I feel, pretty quickly. So there we go, a little bit more before we put this lid back on. And we're going to leave this directly on top so we can hold it in. And then the last thing we're going to do here, as I always do, I have my sticker here. Right here. Shows 5-4. We fed in the middle, so we're going to go ahead and put that in the middle. I'm seeing some, it looks like fungus gnats come out of there now. I didn't see any when I was flipping it over though. So we're going to go ahead and take these off now. No reason to keep those labels on. We've got our new label right here, 5-4 on the top there. Or bottom, top for me, bottom for you. And just so you guys know, we did start this bin in August last year. So we're getting close to that 1 year mark on here. And this is probably going to need a harvest very soon. We're probably going to have to sort this out, and I could probably add this to my yard. Or down near some of the trees. I'm trying not to use this hamster bedding compost in anywhere that would be stepped on by people or anything like that. So I don't really want to use it in my yard. I do have a nice hill though with pine trees, and I think this would be the perfect place to add this. So we're gonna have to sort this out pretty soon. But the worms are doing well, and hopefully this food will give them something to snack on, and hopefully we'll get back a little bit sooner than the 23 days that we did last time. I'm trying to speed up my my cycle of going through my bins, but we'll see how that works out this coming weeks. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below.